Hi, everyone. Good morning and good Tuesday to most of you watching this today. I wanted to, first of all, thank you so much for the wonderful feedback I got from my video that I posted yesterday. That was my very first video on answering your questions about PCOS. So, in honor of this week, the giveaway this week, that I would like to share with you is I promise to try to do one video every single day to answer your PCOS questions. So keep sending those questions in to me. And also, I really appreciate all the support we're getting from your pre-orders of our new book coming out April 14th, The PCOS Plan with Dr. Jason Fung. If you'd like, the pre-order link is on my profile. So let's get to it today. So yesterday, I answered your question about cravings in PCOS. So if you want to take a look at that IGTV video, it's on there. It'll be saved on there so you can have a look back. Today, I'm going to answer another super important question, I think. And again, just like yesterday's question, I can so relate to this one. Growing up as a young woman with PCOS, one of my obviously most obvious expressions of PCOS was acne. I had a lot of acne. And it's funny because I know I get this comment a lot, and I'm very thankful for this comment where people say, "How are you 42 years old and have this nice skin?" And it's so nice to hear that, especially growing up as I grew up, having such terrible acne. Not just acne, but hirsutism as well. So a lot of you ladies with PCOS know exactly what I'm talking about. But the acne was very prominent, and actually the acne was the number one reason why I got on the pill to begin with, and why I could never get off the pill. Because every time I tried getting off the pill, it would just become very, very obvious. And this was a major concern for me. And I know it's a major concern for a lot of women, young women and women of all ages with PCOS. The acne seems to stay with us throughout. There are some women that have acne and have never been diagnosed with PCOS. So maybe some of you women can also benefit from this information that I'm about to share with you today. So, acne and PCOS, one of the most common expressions of hyperandrogenism, which is high levels of male hormones, testosterone. Not just some women don't even have on lab testing, their testosterone levels may not be abnormal. But here's the thing about PCOS. We now know that the root cause of PCOS is insulin. And yesterday I said to you, if you're not familiar as a PCOS woman with insulin and insulin resistance and how it relates to PCOS, please have a look at the resources I shared with you. Thefastingmethod.com/blog. If you search PCOS, you're going to get all the science there. Of course, in our book, we're going to get into the science as well. And today I want to share with you another resource. So I wrote a review for the Journal of Insulin Resistance called The Contribution of Hyperinsulinemia to the Hyperandrogenism of PCOS. So it sounds like big words, but really it isn't. How much does high insulin contribute to these high male hormones in women with PCOS? Well, it seems, so if you want to take a look, it's the Journal of Insulin Resistance. I'll put the link in the description of this video, and you can have a look. It's actually very clear. It's just a review, so it's not very confusing. Even for those of you that are not big on the science, you might benefit from reading about the fact that the majority of the literature out there on PCOS, the scientific literature, actually does link insulin and hyperinsulinemia, so high levels of insulin, to PCOS, and specifically to this expression of high male hormones. This is a concern because it's the hyperinsulinemia, so the high insulin, that's contributing to the fact that women with PCOS either have high male hormones running, high testosterone in their blood, which may or may not show up in lab work. It definitely shows up clinically, so in expressions, but also there's something else going on in your liver. So when your insulin levels are high, your liver actually underproduces another very important component, which is sex hormone binding globulin. And this is the molecule that binds to this male hormone, testosterone, and it causes the testosterone levels to be less obvious. So when insulin is high, the liver produces less underproduces this globulin. And so the testosterone that's in your bloodstream, even if it's not abnormally high, is free. So it's not bound to this globulin. So because it's free to just roam around your body and exert its expressions in the organs. So one of them being the skin. So then all of a sudden you have this free testosterone, a little bit higher than usual in women with PCOS, but the main concern probably, or at least the combining concern, is that it's free, it's not bound, so it's free to express itself on your skin, on your hair. So you've got abnormal hair loss, and you've got acne and male pattern hair growth, right? So it's the insulin that's causing this. We're always going to go back to this because the fact that we know that PCOS is linked to hyperinsulinemia and high insulin means that there's something we can do about it. So very often women will say to me, is it the chocolate? Is it the fact that I eat chocolates or eat too many chocolates that's causing my acne? I definitely always related it to chocolate because I ate an abnormal amount of chocolate all day long. And in part, yes, it is. I mean, directly, yes, it is. But indirectly, it's the fact that when you eat things that are high in carb, high in processed carb, high in sugar, high in grains, you're going to have a higher insulin production. Specifically, if you're a woman with PCOS and have hyperinsulinemia, so high levels of insulin to begin with, and have developed insulin resistance, meaning that you're going to react higher to these foods. So when you eat chocolate, or really any food that's higher in sugar and processed carbohydrates, or even some foods like dairy. How many of you have noticed that when you eat a lot of dairy, this can also produce, and a lot of people know this, it's actually a very common recommendation that if you have acne to reduce your dairy consumption. And again, it's linked to insulin because people that are hyperinsulin, that have high levels of insulin or are insulin resistant, will have a higher insulin response to dairy. Unfortunately, I know we don't want to hear that because we really like our, I always talk about how I like my bananas with cheese. So again, higher carb and the dairy together. But this is what's going to likely cause, or some of the factors that will cause the acne to show up. So yes, the acne is related to what you eat, but it's related to the hormonal production of insulin. And we know how to lower insulin. And this is what we talk about in our book and in our blog posts, and really here with you to help you through this, through recipes and everything else. But really, it's the two components that we talked about yesterday. You either want to kill the insulin beast or starve the insulin beast by fasting, or you want to tame the insulin beast by eating foods that are going to create less of an insulin response. Okay? So keep sending your questions. Happy Tuesday, and talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everyone.